Well, this is my 39A. When Remington started making the Marlins, the first thing I said is they'll never be able to make a 39A. I could not see their ability to machine. It just wasn't there. They weren't able to make a lever gun. I just knew this wasn't going to happen. But yet at all these trade shows, you'll see on the racks, when Marlin has a display, there'll be a 39A. But it's never a new 39A. It's the old JM ones. And I saw an interesting thing, because these things, the machining on them is so complex. Like the split down seam is right here. And unless the light is just right, you don't even see it. They just blend in. They're just so well machined. And that's, both sides are that way. It's the same thing over here. They're just a really precise fit. And I could see no evidence that Remington was able to do that. Well, a funny thing, yesterday, I was looking on Marlin's website because I kind of keep an eye on them. Though the website is always a mess. They claim to have things they actually don't make, that sort of thing. And like I say, they've been claiming they were going to be making a 39A. So I was looking on the website and I couldn't find any listing for a 39A. They had all these other bolt actions and automatics and stuff, but in the Rimfire there was no 39A. But if you go into the custom shop, there they have a listing for a 39A. So and it said, okay, like very limited supplies, and they want $3,195 for it. So what they've got, what they're doing, like I say, I'm sure they're not able to make this receiver. But I think what they have is some of the old JM receivers. When they switched, when they got all the old Marlin stuff, they probably had a box of old receivers. Now, it could be some of these are actually even rejects that the real Marlin wasn't willing to use, but Remington is better than anything they could do. So they're putting them together and selling them, but like I say, in very limited numbers for a lot of money. I just thought it was interesting. So all I want to say is if you ever want a 39A, you better look in the used guns because you aren't going to get a new one. And if you run across a used one, grab it up, and if you've got one, hang on to it, because there'll never be a gun like this again. I just can't imagine, maybe the Japanese could make a Marlin to that quality, so that it's that flawless. But there's no way Remington is going to do it, even for their 3,000. But to make something that breaks down that cleanly and goes together so that you can't even see that seam. Oh, and then when I was talking about O-ring on the safety, that's all it is. Pop it over, a little O-ring fits right on where the red is. Easily comes on and off. But that completely immobilizes that safety, locks it over. I'd love to see somebody making the 39A again, but you can't sell them for over $3,000. I'm sure the idea is they want to keep the myth, because this, in theory, is the longest running production rifle ever made. These 39s, or this design. And they want to keep that myth alive. A lot of times when companies buy a name, they buy it for the history of the name, but they can't live up to that history. So they trot these out at the shows, but it's these old JM ones that they're showing. I can't believe that they could ever do anything that precise. I just can't see it. And the fact that they're trying to sell them for over $3,000, kind of proves my point. But like I say, I'm a little afraid that they might be taking the receivers that were leftovers that a Marlin originally didn't use. And they put them in the custom shop, and now they're redoing them. Because another thing, that $3,195 for the base model, you can go up from there. That's the low starting at price. But they also make one that is the color case hardened. Well, now I doubt if that's really color case hardening. I think that's, I see this all the time now. Guns that have supposedly look like they're color case hardened, but it's some kind of spray on goop that looks just ridiculous. It's a fake color case hardening. It looks just garish as all get out. And I think that's what they're doing on these. I think probably it's ones that maybe the bluing was blemished, and that's why Marlin didn't use them originally. Because there again, where they say, you look at their website, deep lustrous bluing. It isn't. It's a spray-on crap that they use now. It isn't blued like the old ones were. But I think I'm justified in saying you'll never see a 39A, a new 39A coming out of Remington that isn't an old JM Marlin.